I think we've got another peach one. What is Natasha Denona's obsession with peach, guys? Hello, friends. I am Cher. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing a full review today on the brand new Natasha Denona Bloom Palette. It's really, really pretty. It's just looking like it's going to run peach again. So we're going to find out. We're going to see if we can do any pink looks with this one, which is why I was excited about this one. I love pink. It's my favorite color, in case you can't tell. We're going to do swatches, some fun looks with it, and we're going to do some comparisons with a couple of her other palettes as well. So if all of that interests you, stick around and we'll dive right on into this review. All right, guys, so Natasha Denona is always a favorite. I tend to collect most of her palettes, so you'll tend to see reviews from me. And when I saw this one, oh my goodness, right before it was released, I got a sneak peek of it, and I even got a sneak peek of a couple of the swatches, and I was like, oh my gosh, because as I said, I love pink. It's my favorite color, and I am so drawn to a palette with this kind of color story. So in many of my past reviews on her palettes, I always talk about how everything she does just about leans peach. Even her more neutral shades, the ones that are supposed to kind of lean more nudes and champagne, like her I Need a Nude palette, peach. I call this her I Need a Peach Snops. I've talked about that often in my reviews. So once again, it's very peach. What I really want to do today is show you a comparison of the I Need a Warm with the Bloom one, because it really reminds me a lot of the I Need a Warm. This one's just going a little bit rosier, and this one's more like copper. But it really is reminiscent. So I wanted to do a comparison of that from the start, but then I think too, because it's leaning so peach, I'd like to take a little peek at how it compares to the I Need a Nude also. We're going to check it all out today. I do want to go ahead and mention one more thing, and that is Natasha Denona is cruelty-free, which is one of the reasons I love her, and I love her formula. I would be crushed if she was not cruelty-free. And that is what I want to bring up really quick, is that I did notice she just posted on her Instagram where she had been in China. And it kind of was looking like she was going to be selling there, or she was doing something with the Chinese market. I'm not exactly sure what. And I started getting nervous, because if there is a brand that sells in the Chinese market, under law, they have to do animal testing. And so a lot of times you'll have a brand that says they're cruelty-free because maybe they don't test like here in the United States. But if they have a market there in China, they automatically have to do animal testing, or not technically what I consider cruelty-free. So I had some concerns about that when I saw her sharing from there. And then it turned out I wasn't the only one with those concerns, because I noticed that people were starting to ask Cruelty-Free Kitty, which is a site that I use very often, one of my favorite sites for cruelty-free beauty, to run like my checks through. And on their stories, they did say, yes, we've been made aware. We're looking into it, so we'll keep you posted. But they did say, don't panic yet. It doesn't necessarily mean she's moving towards not cruelty-free. But they are going to be like investigating this. So I'm a little nervous, and I just wanted to bring that up, that if it comes out that she's going to start selling in China, I am going to cry a lot of broken-hearted tears, because I have her like almost entire collection, so many palettes from her. I love her brand. I love her concealer. It is the best on the market, the High Glam. But I will not be able to support her anymore if she does move that way. I also do have an actual affiliate code, ShareToro, to get you 15% off. So as long as she continues to be cruelty-free, I will continue to promote her, because she has an amazing formula, amazing palettes. I just adore her brand typically. But I wanted to put that little plug in there just to let you guys know. Now let's get started on the palette, and enough yakking. All right, so from the start, we're going to go ahead and show you the swatches on her. Yeah, it's running so warm toned. Don't y'all see that? I think it's very warm tone. You do have a little more lighter pinks down here in this range, but not super cool tone pinks. I think this is about it when it comes to like the pink, the true pinks. Everything else, we got some peach, we got brown, and then we have kind of coppery maroon. That's kind of pink, but your deeper pink. This is my skin tone, which is slightly peach. It's peach for sure. There's no doubt about that. But we'll get started playing with it. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch up the I Need a Warm real quick and show you side-by-side comparisons, because this so reminds me a lot of the I Need a Warm, especially in these colors. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna show you how they look on the swatches. Okay guys, when I put these next to each other in vertical, like portrait mode, I could barely tell them apart up here at the top. I think in landscape mode, you're seeing a little more, but look how similar the shades are. This is I Need a Warm. This is the Bloom. Yes, this one does run a little more rose colored, but gosh, they are so similar. Obviously, this is just a little more brown leaning, like copper leaning. Very similar though. And then you come down here and I mean, it's almost the exact same palette, just slightly more rose peach tinted than I Need a Warm. I mean, why did she not call this the I Need a Pink or I Need a Peach, you know? Because it's exactly like the I Need a Warm, like almost exact. Look at that. Look how close that is. But I guess we'll see on the eyes. Like when we actually play with it, are we creating some of the same looks? So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to play with the palette by itself though, and just come up with a fun look, check it out, see how it performs. And then at some point we can do a look where I do I Need a Warm on one eye and the Bloom on the other eye, just to compare them side by side, see if we can recreate almost the exact same look possibly with these two palettes and go from there. So let's get started on a first look. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try my darndest to see if I can get a true pink look out of this and not just peach, not a warm one. I'm gonna try to get a true cool toned look first thing, because I think everybody knows by now, probably just from looking at it, we can make a peach. And I've already seen a couple of peach leaning looks from Natasha Denona from her models. So let's see if we can do a true pink this time, like cool tone. So I'm going to try to do something in this range because that's the only things really screaming at me. Maybe this one can help me. Like, these are a little rose, like, that's more cool tone. But I'm thinking I want something in here as the shimmer on my lid, though. So I think I'm going to come in with this fourth one, which is called Rin. We're going to start with that one. Rin right there. Just want to see, can we do pink? That's it. Can we wear a fairly wearable, just really pretty pink look? And so I'm going to use this as more of a transition color. Okay, I think I will grab this one just for funsies. Equinox is the name of it, and it's that kind of shifty one. And maybe even this one next to it, because I feel like these are slightly, well, let's try this patchy one, which is called Clover. Just because I feel like just the tiniest little dab right here in the corner will give us some depth. And I'm sorry, it's that time of day, guys, where my lighting is crazy. I can only film when I'm not homeschooling. And it just happens to be the worst time of day for my light, unfortunately. Now I'm gonna go in with that Equinox. I'm still just kind of using the same fluffy brush. I'm gonna kind of put it towards this end. And I'm gonna use my finger this time. Ooh, look at there. All right, so yeah, lighter and more delicate. This is just the pretty kind of looks I do love to make. But now I'm gonna come in. We're gonna try like one of these three. I wanna go with the least warm tones. I think I'll try that. I'll try the crisp. Let's see what the crisp looks like. That's looking like it's gonna be lighter. Yeah. Let's just kind of tap it on delicately, blendy, blendy. And there we go. Okay, there we have it. Kind of boring. I mean, it's really pretty, but it's like kind of boring. I feel like that's it. That's probably my everyday look I would wear if I wanted just pink. I don't know. Let's try a pop of this Ember right there. It might make it more warm tone. You know, I wonder if she was trying to get this released in time for Valentine's Day or not, with all the pink, and it just ended up being like a few days later. I don't know. It's definitely more Valentine's shades with the pinks and all. I mean, this is normally my kind of color shades, but it's almost just so much of the same thing that I'm like, I don't have that much to do with all this. Sounds bad. Okay, I'm gonna put a little pop on the bottom here. Okay, it's pretty but boring. It's just the same pinks I've used over and over again in other palettes. I think I'm gonna pop on like the rest of my eyes here, some eyeliner, some mascara, go under the eyes, maybe pop on some lipstick, and I'll be right back to you with a final look of this version. All right, guys, here's our first look. Now, this is really pretty, definitely gorgeous when all the pink comes together. It is a pretty look, but I kind of have some critiques with it because so I've got on some very cool tone pink lipstick here. This is West Atelier. Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous. And then I have on very cool tone light pink on the cheeks. And all of this pink, and of course pink tone in my tank top, all of this pink, I think, is drawing you away from the fact that the shimmer has this like yellowy tone to it. So the only like really light, true light colors in here that I'd use as my everyday like lid pretty pink shimmery color has almost like a yellowy tint to it, is more warm tone. I don't love that because I do feel like when you're gonna go try to make a true pink look, you need cooler light tones, like almost silver or just true white, not with these warm shade glistens of yellow in there. Same with even this one. So everything definitely takes on a little warmer, but you can make, like, this is about as true pink as you're gonna get. And this is probably your lightest colored look you're gonna get to. And I think some other critiques I have is just, I think it is very monotone. Like, I just don't think you're gonna get that many different looks out of this. I think it's very monotone. I think that a lot of these shades are unnecessary and you might have just a few looks you can make with it. So those are some of my critiques with it. But this is coming from somebody who loves pink, and pink is my favorite color, and pink palettes are my favorites. And Natasha Denona is my favorite, but it's so peach. It's so peach. So this is probably your only pink that you're gonna get. Now I'm gonna go ahead and try a second look, something that is probably gonna be more warm tone this time, because again, I just wanted to see that we could do it. I want to do something with a little more pizzazz next. This is a little boring, pretty, but boring. So let's see what else we can do. And then we'll do some comparisons. All right, so now we're coming to look number 2. I really want to do something with that or that. I'm thinking this, but like, what can we do? It just feels so one note, y'all. I just don't know. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm gonna lay down Brick in the middle, and just start, I might even put that almost everywhere. Like kind of pat this down on my whole lid and just see what it looks like. Okay, so far we got brick. It truly is like giving brick, isn't it? But now what to do? I mean, it's actually kind of quite pretty by itself, not gonna lie. I really do feel like I am channeling the Natasha Denona models big time. I mean, that's pretty cool right there, isn't it? I think I'm gonna take the darkest, like the brown right there. That is Bark. And let's see. I mean, that really is pretty cool, I gotta admit. I'm gonna do something with this brown. I don't know what. I'm going in on the outside edges for now, just giving us a little depth. I might blend it into what used to be my wing there. And I'm almost envisioning like maybe some form of a halo eye with this, but you can't even do a whole lot of halo eyes because you just don't have a lot of like contrasting colors in this. That's why I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a one note pan a little bit. Okay, so I'm kind of going with almost like a halo eye idea here with the brown around this like rust. This is not a pink palette at all. What we're doing right now. That same packing brush, and I just want to see what Rue is gonna do here. That's the one I really want to play with for this, but I don't know. It may come out too alike. There it is. I mean, that's pretty. Yeah, we can do something with that. There we have it. All right, guys, so here is the finished look on the second one. So definitely your more like rustier colors. I was going on the opposite end, trying to go a lot deeper. We started off with a lighter look. Now we've got the deeper look, a little bit of a halo eye, but like, again, I'm just feeling not inspired. I just don't feel like there's as many things to do. And maybe it's because it's so similar to the I Need a Warm that I've already done all the stuff in I Need a Warm that I'm feeling like, oh, well, I've already done that. It's just now it's in a different, slightest bit different shade tone in this one. I don't know. But I mean, it's looking great. It's gorgeous. Her typical formula blends out great. I think it's just, it's so warm tone, and it's so much like so many other palettes I have. I have a lot of rusty gold, like rose gold or bronzier rose or peachy, rusty shades of pink that this is just like all of those. So I think that's what it is. I'm not as excited as I initially was, I'm afraid. All right, what we're gonna do now is, since I was mentioning the I Need a Warm, we're gonna compare it, but I am going to get out my assistant. So here's Betsy. She helps me out without having to kind of mess up my own skin a lot. So we're gonna put, I Need a Warm on one eye and Bloom on the other, and just see what the shades look like against each other. I'm gonna go ahead and do in Bloom over here. I'll say, I think the only thing that might be missing and different from the I Need a Warm is there's not a good like transition middle shade matte color that is brown enough or tan enough. They're all leaning more peach. So that'd be probably the only difference I can really spot between the two palettes. So I'm gonna go with Keen right here as our transition because it's probably the closest to one of the transition colors in the I Need a Warm. So here's Bloom so far with a transition. Then I'm gonna take Ripe from the I Need a Warm. All right, here is Ripe. So almost exact, aren't they? They're pretty close to each other. So not a huge difference. You can still make almost the same transition peachy tan colored shade. So now I'm gonna do the dark brown. We're gonna go with Bark, probably the only darker, like more brown toned shade in the Bloom palette. It doesn't like to blend on Betsy very good, but here's the idea. Now I'm going to take Flash Over from I Need a Warm and put it in the same spot. Fairly close to each other, right? Neither of them want to blend good on Betsy. They're looking a lot spotchier. I think the I Need a Warm side, it might be a little lighter. I might not have grabbed, like, I think we could probably make a dark brown though match from one of these other ones. Like Pep is a dark brown too. It might have been a closer match with it, but we're gonna move on. I'm going to now come in with Florence and pack that on a little bit. Okay, so that's on the In Bloom side. Phenomena, this was very shifty in I Need a Warm. So I do see a difference. You definitely pick up a lot more on the shiftiness on the I Need a Warm side, but it kind of starts off as a similar color, but it doesn't have the shifty on this side that the I Need a Warm does. I love that shift, by the way. Okay, so then that leaves us with that last one, the Equinox, which is more of the shifting one, I think, in the Bloom. So yeah, it's not really showing up much, but I put it right in there. It's a lighter tone. And then we'll try out Homey, which was the one I thought was a closer one on my swatches. All right, so here's I Need a Warm and here's Bloom. Similar idea, but I Need a Warm definitely is going a little more coppery, and it's shifting and giving you that like penny color that I think is so cool. Whereas this one's kind of staying the same, and it might be just slightly more, I think just overall kind of rose gold, but so similar. Very similar idea here. Yeah, you can get a fairly similar look, but it's not exactly the same. So I have absolutely loved the I Need a Warm palette. It's one of my favorites. It might be like my top, I don't know. I Need a Nude and I Need a Warm are probably like my two top ones from Natasha Denona. I've loved it, and I think I still love it better than the Bloom, honestly, after playing with it. I hate to say it, but I do. There's just so much more I feel I can do with it. So I don't know. Bloom's okay. It's pretty. I think it's just so repetitive of a lot of other palettes I've done, and I just don't feel like I can do a lot of lighter colors and a lot of those pretty like true pinks that I like to do. It's still just leaning so peachy and rose gold like. Okay, so now that we have looked at the I Need a Warm, let's pick at the I Need a Nude really quick, again, because I have always called this the I Need a Peach Schnapps palette. I can't get it out. So here are the swatches for it. Now, you do have a lot of champagne colors, but any of your, like some of your mattes in there, they lean so very peach. So let's take a peek now. Here is our Bloom and our I Need a Nude, and just see how that compares to each other. Obviously, you know, a lot of your deeper tones, they're running more neutral and brown and champagne over here, but there's still some peach ones that are quite alike. Some of those matte peaches, like those two right there, definitely a lot alike. I think you almost have some similarity there. Maybe right there, some similarity, just in like these. So wherever you have a pop of peach, there's a few similar shades, but for the most part, everything I think does run more champagne colored. This one runs true peach and like, not burgundy, but that rose gold, those like rose gold colors kind of. So the light ones might even match each other. So let's try that out on Betsy too. I'm gonna see if we can make a similar look between I Need a Nude and the Bloom. Okay, so in Bloom, I'm gonna grab the Wren on this one. And then on the I Need a Nude side, we're gonna grab that one, which is called Vague. I think that those might be a close match. We'll see. Same side, Bloom on this side, so we don't get confused between them. Here is Bloom, there is I Need a Nude. So a little bit different. Bloom definitely is bringing out the rose tone just a little bit more. All right, we're gonna go with Bark again. Again, this bark just doesn't want to blend on Betsy. Poor Betsy. And then we're gonna do Tender from the I Need a Nude. So Bark is a little darker than Tender is, but kind of same idea. Then we're gonna do our Fleur up here again. I'm gonna do my finger this time. So here is the Rose's finished look. Obviously this would need to be cleaned up. You'd be having all this fallout on her face, but there's her finished look. And then we're gonna try the Sheen from I Need a Nude, one of my favorite ones. Oh, love that. And then here is I Need a Nude. All right, so still very similar. You can get a similar feel, but I think where the difference is in that transition color. It is leaning more of like a even more peachy, like true peach here. This is like a little more muted peach on it, and you have darker brown than this side, but that shimmer is pretty similar. It might be a little more champagne color here. This one's a little lighter, but very similar. So you could make a fairly similar look even to the I Need a Nude, I think. So again, I just think overall what my conclusion is our girl Natasha loves her peach, but you're running into a lot of like darker rose golds and not quite burgundy, but these rusty rose gold type shades. And some of them are definitely leaning very similar to the I Need a Warm. I think it's that your mattes in here, some of your lighter matte shades are really reminiscent of I Need a Nude. I think some of your more like medium shades maybe that are very like rusty feeling are so similar to the I Need a Warm. But then where it differs and where it's unique in itself is going to be on those much deeper, rosier colors like these in here. That's where it really differs from the other two. So it is still a unique palette in and of itself. It's just got some similarities. It definitely is reminiscent of these others. Overall, I think you guys have figured out my review on this is it didn't come out as good as I had hoped. I think it's still a good palette. It's fun. It's beautiful. I love pink. I think for me, it's just that I have so many palettes with this exact same color story and the shades. My cat came out to agree with me. We think that it's just not as versatile as I'd hoped, not as many true pinks in it as I had hoped, not as many lighter shades of beautiful pink shimmers that I really like. So it's maybe not my typical favorite share palette, but it's so-so, I think. So that's my review on it, guys. Hope that was helpful. Let me know if you're picking it up. And if you love to see eyeshadow palette rankings and reviews, stick around. I'll have my monthly rankings video here for you soon. I promise it's coming. I do one every month where I try to rank all the palettes I've worn in the month. And I love Natasha Denona. So if you want to see more Natasha Denona and stay tuned on the news, definitely stick around here. If you want to see other cruelty-free beauty, lots of beauty boxes, that's all the fun that we do on this channel. So you don't want to miss it all. You'll want to definitely pop that subscribe. So I will catch you guys all on the next one. Bye.